The morning rises slowly over the ancient hills. Soft gold spills across temple roofs, brushing the stone with warmth that feels like a gentle hand upon the skin. The air is still, carrying only the faintest hum of life, a bird's call in the distance, the rustle of leaves as the wind drifts past. Shadows stretch long and quiet, and the world feels suspended between night and day. Here, beneath the arches of the temple, the first whispers of devotion begin to stir. You float along the stone path, feeling its smooth, worn surface beneath unseen feet. Incense curls in the morning air, tendrils of sandalwood and jasmine weaving a delicate pattern around the columns. The scent rises and softens the world, reminding the spirit of patience, of quiet presence. Here, in this gentle light, the warriors gather, their movements slow, measured, and respectful. Each one stands with bowed heads, hands clasped in silent reverence. Their armor glimmers faintly, catching the soft rays of dawn, yet it does not shine with pride, it catches the light with humility. For they are not here for glory. They are here to honor a promise older than any stone, older than the sun warming their shoulders. The oaths they speak are soft, spoken in the hush between heartbeats, yet each one carries the weight of eternity. A distant drum rolls slowly, not in urgency, but in rhythm with the breath of the earth. Step by step, the warriors move toward the altar where a small flame flickers steadily. It is neither grand nor blazing, only enough to hold the morning's quiet attention. The flame is a witness, a keeper of promises. As each warrior approaches, the smoke of incense mingles with the air around them, and for a moment it feels as if time itself has paused. The first vow is spoken in a voice like a gentle stream. I shall honor the path of loyalty, beyond the edge of life, beyond the reach of fear. The words drift softly, curling upward as if carried on invisible wings. They meet the light of the flame and seem to shimmer there for a heartbeat before fading into the quiet air. Around them, the temple walls absorb the vow, echoing it back in a resonance that is felt more than heard. Another warrior steps forward. The morning wind moves through the trees, brushing against the stone and stirring the hair upon bowed heads. Her voice is low, almost a whisper, yet it carries across the courtyard. In every challenge I shall hold true. In every shadow I shall remain steadfast. The flame flickers slightly, as if acknowledging the promise, sending a tiny spark of light across the smooth stone floor. You drift among them, feeling the pulse of devotion moving through the assembly. The oaths are not loud. They do not demand attention. Instead, they seep gently into the soul, like soft water into the roots of a tree. Each promise is an offering, a thread weaving the mortal heart into the eternal web of honor and spirit. Even as the world beyond the temple hums with ordinary life, here there is only presence, only reverence, only the sacred quiet that follows a vow made with sincerity. The incense rises in slow spirals, curling around the columns and catching the first shafts of sunlight. The scent carries memories of those who have walked these halls before, who have knelt and pledged, who have let their hearts be bound by words whispered into the stillness. You can almost feel the echoes like soft ripples on a pond. They do not call. They do not disturb. They simply exist, reminders that devotion is a river flowing through time, endless and patient. A third warrior steps forward. His hands are steady, though his breath rises and falls with quiet anticipation. I swear to protect the light in others, even if my own path grows dark. I swear to honor the sacred trust that binds all hearts together. The flame bends slightly in the gentle morning breeze, shadows stretching and curling across the stone floor. The words linger longer than the air around them, settling like soft petals on the soul of the temple. Softly the assembly bows as one. There is no ceremony of haste, no rush of movement. Every gesture is measured, slow, intentional. In the silence that follows, the world feels as though it has exhaled, releasing the weight of unspoken fear, leaving only clarity and calm. Each promise becomes a small, steady heartbeat in the rhythm of the temple, in the rhythm of the morning, in the rhythm of the spirit itself. The wind carries a feather across the courtyard, and it lands lightly at the base of the altar. You notice it, though no one else moves. It seems to rest there, an unspoken sign of blessing, of approval, of the quiet connection between all living things and the vows that honor them. The temple itself seems to breathe, as if acknowledging each sacred word that has been spoken beneath its arches. The final warrior steps forward, and her voice is almost a song. I shall not falter. I shall hold this promise in my heart through storms and silence alike. The light of loyalty shall be my guide. And as her words flow into the calm morning, you feel the invisible thread stretching outward from the temple, weaving through the hills, through the forests, through the rivers. The oaths are no longer only hers. They belong to all who listen, all who believe, all who carry the spirit of devotion quietly within. You float gently toward the steps of the temple, where the sun has risen higher, spilling a soft golden light across every surface. The incense curls higher now, catching the warmth and carrying it upward, a spiral of scent and quiet devotion. Around you, the temple is alive, not with noise, but with presence. Each stone, each column, each beam of light seems to glow with the memory of promises kept, the weightless beauty of oaths spoken softly and sincerely. A gentle bell rings in the distance, a single note that stretches into silence. You feel the calm of that sound moving through your body, through your mind, settling every thought like soft sand in a riverbed. The warriors now stand silently, gazing toward the flame. Their faces are serene, their hearts steady. The morning holds them, and in its quiet, you too are held. Slowly the courtyard empties, and yet the stillness remains. The air is soft and warm, the light gentle on your eyes. The incense drifts lazily, and the flame continues to burn, small, constant, unwavering. You feel as though you could remain here forever, cradled in this quiet devotion, carried on the steady pulse of promises made beneath temple light. Let us drift onward beyond the columns, beyond the echoes of whispered vows. Let the calm of these sacred promises settle in your chest and mind, like a soft, steady heartbeat beneath your own. Now rest, as the stars return to the sky, as the flame flickers and dances in gentle rhythm, as the world exhales with quiet grace. The oaths beneath the temple light remain, eternal and serene, and you carry their calm within, drifting slowly into peace. The morning air flows gently across the hills, carrying a soft warmth that brushes over stone and grass alike. Sunlight falls in quiet streaks through the trees, illuminating the edges of armor resting against wooden racks. The metal glimmers softly, not with pride, but with quiet purpose, waiting to be lifted, held, and trusted. A distant drum rolls slowly, like a heartbeat of the earth, marking the rhythm of a world preparing for sacred service. You drift through the courtyard, feeling the smooth cool of the stone beneath your imagined feet. The wind lifts faint scents of pine, dust, and the delicate trace of incense, mingling in the early morning. Here the air hums with quiet energy. It is not the rush of fear, nor the cry of battle. It is the gentle murmur of intention, of courage formed not from anger but from devotion. Warriors move with careful grace, checking the leather straps of armor, the weight of shields resting comfortably against arms. Each movement is deliberate, slow, a dance between body and promise. Their hands glide over metal and leather as if blessing the pieces with silent prayers. Even the simplest buckle, the curve of a helmet, seems to hold a memory of oaths whispered before dawn. A soft wind carries voices, low and steady. Pledges pass between the rows of soldiers, gentle as the rustling leaves. I hold this shield for the protection of the innocent, says one, her words carrying the warmth of fire within a calm heart. I will stand where courage is needed without faltering. Each phrase is spoken not with haste, but with intention, folding the spirit into the rhythm of the day, weaving loyalty and love into the very air around them. Shields lean in quiet alignment, polished to catch the soft rays of sunlight, yet they do not glimmer with vanity. Instead, they shine with remembrance, reflecting not only the faces of those who hold them, but the countless ancestors who walked these paths, whose hearts beat with the same resolve. You sense the presence of their quiet guidance, like a gentle hand on the shoulder, urging careful steps and steady hearts. A warrior lifts his shield and traces the edges with fingers that are both reverent and assured. This shield shall bear my vow, he murmurs. It shall carry my courage into every trial and my heart into every shadow. The metal seems to absorb the quiet promise, humming softly as though aware of the weight it now carries, not of fear, but of trust, of dedication, of the soft fire that burns without need for applause. Around the courtyard, others speak in similar whispers, each voice a gentle thread weaving together a tapestry of shared devotion. Their hearts beat in quiet harmony, steady and slow, as if the drum of the earth beneath their feet has taught them the rhythm of calm resolve. Even as the day warms and light pools across the stones, nothing feels hurried. The world is still, waiting, honoring each word spoken, each pledge held within a steady heart. You drift toward a row of young warriors adjusting their gauntlets, watching the care with which they prepare. Each motion seems like a meditation, hands gliding over leather, a strap pulled snug, a breath held, then released. Their murmured oaths carry weight, though soft as the morning breeze. I will not let anger guide my hand. I will let the fire in my heart be tempered by thought and devotion. The words settle into the space, soft as shadows across the stone, carrying the calm strength of restraint and purpose. The sun rises higher, sending gentle light across shields and armor. You notice the reflection of the sky in the polished surfaces, a mirror of clouds drifting lazily above. The world feels suspended between effort and stillness. In this quiet moment, preparation itself becomes a sacred act. To adjust a strap, to lift a shield, to trace the edge of a helmet, each is a prayer, a movement of devotion, a small fire kindled in the heart. A seasoned warrior approaches a young apprentice, placing a hand lightly on the shoulder. No words are spoken at first. The gesture itself is an oath, a promise of guidance, of patience, of sharing the wisdom of years with gentle hands. And then softly a quiet murmur. Carry your heart carefully, let courage guide your shield, and let the fire within always be steady. The young warrior nods, inhaling the calm strength that surrounds this exchange. The pledge is quiet, yet it resonates deeper than any loud proclamation could. Around the courtyard, banners sway in the light breeze. Their edges ripple softly, each movement a reminder of continuity, of generations who have pledged hearts and hands to higher purpose. The wind itself seems to carry whispers of old oaths, soft echoes threading between the stones and the morning air. You feel the presence of time here, not as a weight, but as a gentle river, flowing and carrying the quiet devotion of countless souls. The drum beats continue, slow and steady, guiding steps without urging them. You sense the rhythm within yourself, echoing the careful motions of the warriors. Breathing becomes gentle and even, a reflection of the harmony around you. Each heartbeat feels like a promise, each breath a thread woven into the fabric of calm, devotion, and readiness. A warrior lifts a sword briefly, its metal catching the light in a soft gleam. It is not raised with pride, but with reverence. "This blade shall serve the oath I carry," he whispers. "It shall not harm what is sacred, and it shall honor every vow spoken beneath the temple's sky." The words drift slowly across the courtyard, touching every surface, mingling with the incense and the morning air. Even the stone beneath your feet seems to absorb the quiet devotion, holding it like a gentle memory. Soft winds carry petals from nearby blossoms, floating gently through the courtyard. They land upon shields, upon helmets, upon the robes of the warriors. Each petal seems to bow slightly, as if acknowledging the sacred bond between heart and promise, between courage and calm. You watch them settle, delicate and patient, and the sight itself calms the mind, reminding the spirit that devotion can be both strong and tender. You float further, feeling the slow passage of time and the gentle movement of morning. The courtyard is alive, yet not with noise, only with quiet intention. Armor gleams with the touch of light, shields hum softly with the weight of promises, and hearts burn with the steady flame of devotion that does not flicker with haste or fear. Each warrior stands grounded, yet their spirits are free, carried by the sacred trust that binds hand, heart, and mind. A final drumbeat sounds, longer this time, deep and slow. It is neither a call nor a warning, only a breath of the earth itself, carrying the presence of what has been prepared and what will be honored. You feel it in your chest, a gentle pulse that mirrors the quiet rhythm of calm courage, of steady hearts, of promises held close. As the morning drifts forward, sunlight pools across the courtyard, warming stones, shields, and hearts alike. The warriors pause, eyes closed, feeling the flame of their inner fire steady and serene. You feel the warmth of that presence in yourself, a gentle glow, as if the quiet devotion has entered your own spirit. You float there, held by the stillness, by the sacred rhythm of preparation, by the soft fire that burns without demand. Let us drift onward, carried by the calm strength of hearts devoted and shields held gently yet firmly. Now rest, as the wind hums softly through the trees, as the incense curls into the light, as the morning continues its slow, tender journey. The courage of warriors, the oaths spoken beneath the temple sky, the quiet flame of hearts and promises. They remain, carrying you into calm, carrying you into sleep. The morning light filters softly through the trees, touching the river with a gentle, golden glow. The water moves quietly, rippling like a whispered song across the stones, carrying reflections of clouds and sky. You drift beside its edge, feeling the cool breath of the wind and the soft murmur of water over pebbles. Here, the world is slow and still, as if time itself pauses to honor the quiet courage that gathers along these banks. Along the river, figures kneel silently upon smooth stones. Soldiers of long ago sit in still meditation, their hands resting lightly upon their knees. Their armor has been set aside, replaced by simple robes that catch the morning light. You notice the way their breath moves in gentle rhythm with the river, each exhale flowing like the water itself, each inhale drawing calm from the sky above. They speak no words, for none are needed. The river listens and reflects all that is held within their hearts. The river mirrors more than the sky. It mirrors their resolve, their promise, and the silent strength that courses through them. Courage, you realize, does not always roar. It can flow quietly like this water, steady and patient. It can reflect the vastness above, humble and open, while carrying the weight of action beneath its surface. You watch as a lone leaf drifts across the current, small and delicate, yet unwavering, a reminder that even gentle things can move with purpose. Soft winds carry the scent of earth and water, mingling with the faint trace of incense from a distant temple. You feel it brushing your skin, soft and warm, as if the air itself holds devotion. The soldiers lift their heads, eyes closing briefly as the sun touches their faces. Their thoughts move like the river, smooth, deliberate, reflecting each vow they have carried, each promise they have whispered into the quiet world. One soldier dips his fingers into the water, letting the current flow over them slowly. "May this courage be as patient as this river," he murmurs, almost inaudible, almost a thought rather than a sound. "May my heart hold steady, even when shadows rise." The water swirls around his hands, carrying his silent prayer onward. You sense the river embracing each word, holding it in gentle currents, as if keeping a sacred memory safe. Nearby, another soldier traces the edge of the river with his palm. The smooth stones warm beneath the morning sun, grounding him. "The strength within me shall not seek conquest," he whispers, "but the protection of what is sacred." You float closer, feeling the calm resonance of these promises. The courage here is quiet, yet immense, a steady flame that does not need to roar, a river that does not need to rush to remind the world of its presence. The water reflects the sky, and in that reflection you see the flicker of sunlight on the gentle ripples. Each wave seems like a heartbeat, small and persistent. Courage, like the river, moves even when unseen. Even when the world is still, it flows, supporting all who rely upon it. You notice the small fish darting beneath the surface, the moss clinging to stones, the reeds swaying in quiet harmony. Each life here carries courage in its own way, steady, patient, unassuming. The soldiers close their eyes again, hands resting lightly over their hearts. Their thoughts drift along the river, carrying their promises to distant lands and unseen people. You sense the pulse of their devotion, as soft as the water lapping at stone, as gentle as the morning breeze. In this stillness, courage and calm are inseparable. To hold a vow is to hold a river in your hands, to let it flow with faith, without grasping, without haste. A small bird lands upon a branch above the river. Its feathers glisten in the sunlight and it tilts its head, observing the quiet assembly. You feel as though it carries a message from the skies. Courage can be light, delicate, and free. The soldiers notice the bird, yet they do not move hastily to disturb it. Their awareness is soft, patient, like the current itself, embracing life without forcing it. The bird flutters away, leaving the river calm once more. Along the banks, flowers lean toward the water, their petals trembling in the soft morning wind. You sense that the river carries these blooms, quiet offering, the same way it carries the soldiers' silent pledges. Every ripple, every shimmer, every gentle wave becomes a thread connecting courage, devotion, and calm. The world feels suspended in this balance, safe and tender, as if nothing could disturb the peace held here. One soldier rises slowly, his robe brushing the stones beneath him. He lifts his gaze to the sky, letting the sunlight trace the outline of his form. "May the fire of my spirit remain steady," he whispers, even when storms arise. The river responds with a gentle ripple, soft and rhythmic. You feel the harmony of his words, mingling with the quiet pulse of water, the breath of wind, the slow light of morning. Courage, it seems, is not loud. It is persistent, reflective, and luminous in its stillness. The river curves gently around a bend, carrying the soldiers' quiet resolve along its path. You drift beside them, feeling your own heart slow, your breath align with the water's rhythm. Every ripple, every shimmer, every soft movement becomes a lullaby of calm determination. Here, courage is a river, patient, reflective, gentle, yet endlessly moving toward all that is needed. A distant drum rolls softly, barely audible, as if echoing from some hidden place. It marks the passing of time, but not with urgency. Its rhythm is slow, a reminder of steady hearts and measured steps. The soldiers pause, listening, feeling the quiet power of persistence. The river reflects the sky above, the sunlight, the scattered clouds, and the gentle pulse of the drum. You feel all of this settling within yourself, a quiet alignment of heart and spirit. Soft winds rise again, brushing across your face and carrying the scent of water and earth. The river moves around rocks and reeds, carrying both reflection and promise. You sense that the courage here is not fleeting. It is embedded in every drop, every stone, every leaf along the bank. Even when the soldiers depart, their vows will remain like the water, flowing, patient, enduring, calm. As the sun climbs higher, the river glows with soft light. Shadows retreat, and the gentle warmth settles over every stone and petal. The soldiers rise fully now, hands clasped briefly in silent gratitude to the river that has witnessed their devotion. You feel the quiet power of their courage filling the morning, a gentle fire that does not consume but illuminates softly. Let us drift onward, carried by the quiet strength of this river, by the calm courage reflected in its moving waters. Let the gentle light, the soft wind, and the murmuring stream settle in your heart. Now rest as the stars return to the sky, as the river flows endlessly beneath the sun, as your spirit floats, calm and steady, into peaceful sleep. The night falls softly over the hills, folding the world into a quiet cloak of shadow and starlight. Moonlight drifts across the camp, touching the edges of tents and the smooth curves of armor laid aside. The air is still, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke, earth, and distant pine. You float gently through the space, hearing only the soft rustle of leaves and the quiet murmur of a river nearby. Night has arrived like a whispered lullaby, inviting all hearts to settle and breathe. Around small campfires, warriors gather in gentle clusters. The flames flicker softly, casting shadows that dance across faces lined with thought and devotion. Their voices are low, almost blends of wind and crackle of fire. Words of allegiance pass from one to another, whispered oaths that hum quietly in the night. Each promise is a thread, stretching across space and time, connecting hearts and souls through devotion, honor, and the quiet pulse of shared intent. You notice the careful way each warrior listens, as if the words themselves are sacred. The oaths are not hurried. They do not clamor for recognition. Instead, they rest softly in the air, carried on the heat of the fire and the cool caress of night wind. Each pledge is a small flame, luminous yet gentle, weaving a tapestry of trust and steadfastness across the sleeping earth. A warrior speaks first, his voice like a slow river. "I honor the bonds that guide us," he murmurs. "I carry the trust of those who have gone before, and I will uphold it with every breath." The words drift upward, mingling with sparks rising from the fire, reaching toward the stars. Each spark seems to hold a memory, a vow, a quiet echo of courage whispered into the night. Nearby, a young soldier listens, eyes reflecting the soft glow of flames. Her hands are folded lightly in her lap, heart steady in the rhythm of quiet devotion. "I shall hold my heart true," she whispers, barely audible, "and let my spirit be guided by what is just and kind." The fire flickers in acknowledgement, shadows stretching and folding as if to cradle the promise, carrying it gently into the darkness. Above, the stars shine steadily, distant and unwavering. Each one feels like a witness, a quiet sentinel that remembers every vow ever spoken beneath the sky. You feel the pull of their light, like invisible threads connecting the past and the present, binding all who have carried promises faithfully. The night itself seems to breathe with these threads, carrying them softly across hills and rivers, through forests and fields, holding them as tenderly as a mother holds a child. The campfire crackles, sending tiny sparks into the air. Each flicker mirrors the pulse of hearts around it, a gentle rhythm that is steady and serene. The soldiers do not speak in haste. They allow the quiet to stretch, letting the stillness hold their words. In this space, courage is patient and loyalty is luminous. Even as the wind brushes softly across tents and grass, nothing disturbs the calm devotion that fills the night. A warrior shifts slightly, resting his hands upon a shield laid flat beside him. "My promise is my protection," he whispers, "a quiet guard for those who cannot guard themselves." His voice is soft, yet it carries weight, felt more than heard. You drift closer and notice the invisible line stretching from his heart, connecting to the hearts of others gathered here, linking every soul in gentle, unwavering alignment. The flames cast light across the smooth stones of the fire pit, and you sense the memory of countless nights like this one. Soldiers have gathered here before, whispering oaths, feeling the rhythm of shared devotion, listening to the quiet heartbeat of the world around them. The earth itself seems to cradle these moments, absorbing every word, every breath, every silent intention, holding them like soft water in a stone basin. You notice a small bird perched on a low branch, wings tucked gently. Its presence is quiet, unobtrusive, yet comforting. Perhaps it too listens to the whispers, joining the rhythm of devotion. Its tiny movements seem to reflect the ebb and flow of courage, the gentle movement of hearts joined by trust. The firelight glimmers across its feathers, and it lifts into the sky silently, wings tracing an arc against the moon, a fleeting reminder of freedom and gentle perseverance. Around the campfires, other voices murmur pledges in turn. "I shall carry the honor of our ancestor," says one. "I shall uphold the path of truth and faith. I will not falter in my intent," says another. Each statement floats into the night, finding its place among the soft wind, the flickering light, the steady glow of the stars above. You feel the quiet power of these words, the calm assurance they provide, the way they settle into your own spirit like soft feathers resting upon your chest. The river nearby moves with a gentle, steady murmur, echoing the cadence of whispered oaths. Each ripple carries a piece of the night's devotion, a reflection of hearts aligned with purpose and peace. The sound is subtle, yet it fills the mind with calm, a reminder that courage and fidelity need not be loud to be strong. You feel yourself floating with the current, weightless, carried by the soft rhythm of the world, held in the quiet hands of night. A gentle wind rises, brushing across the faces of those gathered. The smoke of the fires dances upward, curling and twisting as though alive. You sense that the wind itself carries fragments of promises, soft words spoken in devotion, threads of courage and fidelity stretching beyond the camp, touching distant hills and valleys, carrying warmth to all who honor oaths of the heart. The stars above seem to shimmer slightly, as if acknowledging each vow. You notice how the light reflects in the eyes of the soldiers, steady and calm, a mirror of the heavens themselves. Their hearts beat in rhythm, a soft drum in unison with the earth and sky. The night holds them, and in its embrace, you feel your own heart slow, your mind settle, your spirit float gently in quiet reverence. A young warrior reaches for the fire, warming her hands, feeling the gentle heat and inhaling the soft scent of smoke and wood. "May my allegiance be gentle, yet steadfast," she whispers. "May it flow quietly like this night, carrying care and courage wherever it is needed." You feel the quiet truth of her words, soft and enduring, like the pull of moonlight on still water, like the patient flow of the river beside the camp. Time stretches slowly, measured by the flicker of flames and the pulse of the wind. No urgency presses upon this night. There is only calm, there is only presence, there is only the quiet devotion that binds hearts together. Every whisper, every gentle exhale, every soft glance carries the weight of unspoken trust, a sacred allegiance that endures beyond the fleeting moment. The fires dwindle slowly, yet the warmth of their glow remains in the hearts around them. The soldiers lean back, resting against the soft earth, eyes lifted to the stars, letting the night cradle them. You drift with them, feeling the threads of sacred allegiance winding through the darkness, carrying calm, courage, and devotion across time and space. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft rhythm of hearts in harmony, by the gentle murmur of whispers under starlit skies. Now rest as the fires fade, as the smoke curls into the night, as the stars return to their quiet watch, and as your spirit floats, calm and steady, into gentle, peaceful sleep. The morning is soft, touched with a gentle haze of mist that drifts lazily through the temple courtyards. Light spills over the stone floors, warm and golden, and the air carries the faint scent of incense and blooming jasmine. You float along the wide, quiet halls, hearing the distant murmur of monks preparing the day. Here in this sanctuary, every sound feels alive, yet hushed, like a heartbeat of the sacred itself. Through the halls, the soft ringing of temple bells rises and falls, echoing gently against polished stone and carved wood. Each chime is deliberate, slow, a reminder of presence, of devotion, of the solemnity of vows taken long ago. The sound drifts like soft light across the walls, touching each figure who walks beneath it, wrapping them in quiet warmth. You feel the resonance within yourself, as though each note settles into your chest and breathes calm into your spirit. Warriors kneel upon mats in the cool shadows of the temple, their armor laid aside, replaced by simple robes that shift softly with their movements. Hands rest lightly over hearts, eyes closed, minds focused on the oaths they have pledged. Each vow, though spoken quietly, carries the weight of mountains, the persistence of rivers, and the unwavering steadiness of stars. The bells accompany them, marking every beat of intention, every quiet pulse of dedication. You drift closer to a figure at the altar, her head bowed beneath the soft glow of candlelight. The flicker of flame illuminates her face, serene and calm. She breathes deeply, letting the sound of the bell flow through her, carrying every whispered promise she has made. "May my spirit hold true," she murmurs. "May my steps be steady. May my heart never falter." The words rise with the scent of incense, curling upward, mingling with the golden light, and settling softly into the still air. Around the temple, others repeat their quiet pledges, each one unique, yet all connected by the same gentle rhythm. A young monk places his fingers lightly upon the bell ropes, letting the metal sing again, slow and deliberate. The echo lingers, softening the world, stretching across the halls and into the open courtyards, blending with the distant whisper of the river outside. You notice how even the air seems to hold its breath, letting the resonance of the bell carry devotion across time and space. The sound is steady, patient, like the slow turning of the earth itself. Each chime is a mirror for the soul, reflecting courage, hope, and fidelity. It reminds every heart that promises made in quiet devotion are not lost, even in shadows or uncertainty. The echo stretches along the stone corridors, touching each carved pillar, each ancient painting, each worn step upon the temple floor. You feel yourself drifting with it, a soft current carrying you into calm presence. A warrior steps forward, hands resting lightly upon the altar, his eyes close as the bell rings again, its tone lingering in the air. "I carry this vow," he whispers, "not for glory, but for the light that guides all hearts who walk with honor." The bell vibrates gently, echoing across the arches and down the hallways. Its sound is a bridge between action and reflection, between courage and stillness, teaching that even the smallest promise, spoken softly, can guide the spirit as surely as sunlight guides the dawn. Soft winds drift through open windows, carrying petals from distant blossoms into the halls. They float lazily, touching robes and faces, drifting with the gentle pulse of the bells. Each petal seems to respond to the devotion around it, echoing the rhythm of quiet hearts and steady breaths. You sense the connection of all living things here: the metal of bells, the stone beneath your feet, the wind, the water outside, and the hearts gathered in serene alignment. Another chime resounds, longer this time, a low, deep note that reverberates through the arches. A group of monks bows in unison, voices joining in soft, wordless tones. The sound mingles with the bell, a gentle hymn of continuity, of allegiance, of faithfulness that does not demand attention but simply exists, patient and enduring. You float among them, carried by the resonance, your mind quiet, your breath even, your spirit calm. The flame at the altar flickers slightly, catching the warmth of candlelight and the soft gold of morning spilling across the hall. Each flicker is a heartbeat, each heartbeat a reminder of steady resolve. The bells chime again, slower now, as if marking the passage of time itself. You feel the pull of their sound within your chest, a gentle vibration that aligns your own heartbeat with the quiet rhythm of devotion surrounding you. A young warrior, kneeling at the far end of the hall, lifts her gaze toward the ceiling, where frescoes of ancient heroes and sages glow faintly in the soft light. She whispers her vow, soft as the rustle of leaves outside. "May my path be guided by the light of truth. May my spirit remain unwavering in the face of uncertainty." The words float upward, mingling with the bell's song, the warm air, the scent of jasmine, and the distant murmur of water beyond the temple walls. You notice the harmony of it all, the sound of the bells, the gentle exhalations of those gathered, the warmth of candlelight, and the soft sigh of the morning breeze. Each element contributes to a slow, unbroken rhythm that carries devotion like a river, steady, patient, and enduring. Even as time drifts forward, the calm remains, a quiet thread connecting each heart that has spoken or heard an oath beneath these vaulted ceilings. A final bell rings, long and resonant, echoing softly down every corridor and staircase. The sound stretches beyond the temple into the courtyard, into the quiet hills, touching everything in its gentle path. You feel it in your chest, a steady pulse, a calm vibration that settles all thoughts, aligns the breath, and holds the spirit in gentle balance. Each chime becomes a beacon, a reminder that sacred promises guide the soul with unwavering light, even when shadows linger, even when paths are uncertain. The warriors and monks pause, hands resting gently on hearts, heads bowed in reverence. The light warms the floor beneath them, and the air hums softly with quiet energy. You float among them, carried by the gentle rhythm of bells and breaths, the presence of devotion, and the serene weight of promises held close. Time feels suspended here, marked only by the slow cadence of chimes and the soft glow of sunlight touching stone and wood. Let us drift onward, carried by the gentle resonance of the bells, by the calm devotion that fills these halls, by the steady light of vows held in patient hearts. Now rest, as the echoes fade softly into the morning, as candlelight dances across stone, as the air carries calm across the temple, and as your spirit floats gently into deep, peaceful sleep. The sun rises slowly over the golden sands, spilling light across endless dunes. The desert stretches quietly, vast and still, a place where the wind carries secrets from one dune to another. You drift across this landscape, feeling the warmth of soft sunlight and the gentle brush of air against your skin. The world is calm here, wide and open, with only the rhythm of your own breath and the whisper of sand to accompany your journey. Soft winds stir the grains beneath your feet, carrying them in delicate swirls that catch the sunlight and scatter tiny sparks of gold. The desert seems alive, not harsh or empty, but a silent teacher. Each step you take is deliberate, measured, a gentle meditation. The heat of the sun is warm, not scorching, and the stillness invites quiet reflection. You notice how every dune curves and folds, a gentle echo of patience and endurance, like the spirit that moves through all who walk here. Along a distant ridge, warriors appear, their figures calm and composed against the horizon. They move slowly, each step a reflection, each breath a quiet reaffirmation of the vows they have carried through time. Their robes flutter softly in the wind, and their eyes hold steady, focused not on the vast distance before them, but on the steady rhythm of their own hearts. Here, the desert is not a test of strength alone. It is a mirror for the spirit, showing what endurance and quiet resolve can create. You float beside them, feeling the subtle pulse of determination in the air. Every step is a meditation, every movement a reaffirmation of promises made beneath the shade of temple halls, beside rivers, or around glowing fires. The desert's silence magnifies these vows, allowing them to echo and stretch far beyond their origin. Each grain of sand seems to hold the memory of courage, the whisper of devotion, the gentle insistence of honor carried across generations. A young warrior kneels briefly beside a small stone, placing a hand upon the sun-warmed surface. "May my resolve remain steady," she whispers softly. "May my spirit endure, and my heart hold true to the oaths I have spoken." The wind rises, lifting the loose sand around her in gentle spirals, carrying her words across the dunes, scattering them softly like tiny stars fallen to earth. You sense the desert listening, holding her pledge as carefully as it holds the shifting sands. The warriors continue onward, their steps slow and rhythmic, blending with the sighing of the wind. The sun reflects softly off their polished armlets, glinting like distant stars upon the golden landscape. There is no urgency here, no hurry to reach the end. Each footfall is a quiet affirmation, a gentle echo of courage sustained over time. The desert itself seems to hum in response, a low, patient resonance that settles into the bones and heart alike, reminding all who wander here that strength often lies in quiet persistence. You drift closer to a figure resting against a small ridge, eyes closed in meditation. The sand warms his back and the wind carries soft whispers across his face. "I carry my vows not only for myself," he breathes, "but for all who have trusted me. May my steps be gentle, yet unwavering, even in the emptiness of trials." The words rise softly, blending with the subtle music of shifting sand, the sigh of distant wind, the gentle pulse of the sun overhead. Each promise becomes a thread of light in the vastness, a quiet mark of devotion. A small lizard scurries across a sunlit stone, pausing briefly before continuing. Even the smallest creatures seem part of the desert's meditation, moving with patient purpose, attuned to the rhythm of life under the open sky. You notice how every detail, the curve of a dune, the glint of stone, the sweep of wind across sand, reflects the slow, enduring power of promises kept, of courage carried quietly. The desert is not harsh. It is a sanctuary of reflection, a place where hearts grow steady in the embrace of patience. Above, the sky stretches wide, a soft, endless expanse of blue fatting toward the horizon. Clouds drift lazily, shadows sliding gently across the dunes. The light shifts slowly, bathing the warriors in warm gold, and you feel the calm radiating from the scene settling into your own chest. Courage here is not loud or impatient. It is enduring, like the sun that rises daily, like the sands that shift without haste, like the quiet persistence of every heart that has ever held a vow. One warrior pauses to dip hands into a small oasis, the water cool and reflective. He lets the current flow over his fingers, murmuring quietly, "May my spirit remain clear, my intent pure. May my heart stay faithful to what is right and good." The water glimmers softly, reflecting sun and sky alike. Each droplet seems to carry his words gently across the desert, as though the land itself participates in the meditation, holding the sacredness of vows in its patient embrace. The wind rises slightly, brushing across the dunes and carrying the scent of distant flowers that cling to desert ridges. The warriors adjust their robes and continue onward, each movement deliberate, each breath slow and even. You feel the quiet alignment of spirit and body, the gentle teaching of endurance, the calm assurance that every step, though small, contributes to the unbroken path of devotion. Even in the vast, open expanse, there is guidance, soft, unobtrusive, patient, reminding every traveler that courage need not roar to exist. A lone bird traces the horizon, wings glinting in the sunlight. Its flight is effortless, carried by the thermals of the desert air. You notice how it moves with the same rhythm as the warrior's steps, as the sands shift, as the sun moves slowly across the sky. Even the smallest life here carries quiet resilience, a reflection of the promises spoken and held close to heart. The desert seems to celebrate this harmony, a sacred balance between endurance and stillness, between effort and ease. The sun climbs higher, warming the sand and deepening the colors of the dunes. Shadows stretch and soften, mirroring the slow passage of time. The warriors pause again, resting lightly upon warm stones, hands over hearts, eyes closed. Each inhale and exhale flows in rhythm with the gentle pulse of the wind, the distant shimmer of an oasis, the soft, endless movement of sand across the desert. You feel your own breath align with this rhythm, slow and steady, carrying calm into every corner of mind and body. A final step takes them to a small plateau overlooking the wide expanse of golden desert. They kneel, heads bowed, hands resting lightly over hearts. The wind sighs around them, carrying grains of sand like soft music, gentle and persistent. Each vow they hold, each promise whispered in quiet, becomes a part of the desert itself, carried across hills and valleys, embedded in the patient sweep of time. You feel the resonance of these oaths settle into yourself, a soft, enduring light that flows gently through the spirit. Let us drift onward, guided by the quiet rhythm of wind and sand, by the gentle courage of hearts that endure, by the sacred promises that flow like invisible rivers through the vast expanse. Now rest, as the sun softens, as the dunes hold their warmth, as the desert hums its patient song, and as your spirit floats calmly into deep, gentle sleep. Night drifts gently over the fields where ancient battles once unfolded. The sky stretches wide, deep, and calm, sprinkled with countless stars that shimmer softly like distant lanterns. You float slowly above the land, carried on a gentle breeze that moves like a whisper through the grass and the low hills. The moonlight spills over the earth, silver and tender, touching each stone and tree, illuminating the quiet traces of courage and devotion left behind. The battlefield is still now, serene as if the earth itself holds its breath. Long ago, warriors stood here with hearts heavy yet steadfast, their oaths whispered beneath the sun and carried through the clashing of shields. Now, in the hush of night, those promises linger like soft echoes, resting in the soil and the curves of the hills, in the shadows cast by ancient trees. The stars above seem to remember, shining gently upon the quiet land, keeping watch over the hearts that once beat with devotion. You drift closer to a lone figure kneeling beside a fallen stone. His hands rest lightly upon the earth. Eyes closed and his breath moves slowly, harmonizing with the rhythm of the night. He murmurs his vow quietly. May my courage hold true, my loyalty remain steadfast, and my heart honor every promise spoken in the light and in shadow. The words rise into the cool air, curling gently toward the stars, where they are caught softly in their glow. Around him, the battlefield stretches quietly, a tapestry of stillness and memory. Here and there, the faint shimmer of ancient armor rests partially buried in grass, reflecting moonlight like distant stars fallen to earth. Each piece carries a story, a sacred echo of a vow fulfilled or a promise remembered. You float among these echoes, feeling the calm devotion that underlies courage, the steady pulse of faith that flows beneath even the chaos of conflict. The wind stirs lightly, sweeping across the hills, rustling leaves, carrying the scent of earth and cool night air. You hear it softly, like a chorus of whispers from those who once walked here. Their voices are not loud, not demanding. They simply hum in quiet alignment, a gentle melody of integrity, fidelity, and serene courage. Every sound, every breath of air, every flicker of moonlight seems to remind you of the sacredness of vows and the soft dignity of hearts held true. A small bird flutters across the open field, wings glinting in the silver light. It lands briefly on a fallen branch, still as a sentinel. Perhaps it too carries the memory of promises made here, a witness to courage and patience, to loyalty and honor. Its soft movements mirror the rhythm of hearts across time, quiet and steady, each beat a gentle affirmation that devotion endures, even when the world shifts and changes around it. Stars seem to shimmer more brightly now, each one a guardian of the past, each one a quiet reflection of the souls who walked this land with purpose and calm resolve. You notice how the light of one star mirrors the steadiness of a heart that has remained loyal, how another reflects the patient courage of a warrior who faced fear and uncertainty without faltering. The night itself becomes a sanctuary, holding the weight of memory lightly, allowing you to float in the gentle embrace of devotion and quiet strength. Nearby, a pair of warriors kneel together, their heads bowed, hands resting upon their hearts. Their breath moves in unison with the rhythm of the night. "May our oaths guide us beyond this moment," one whispers softly. "May our hearts honor what we have promised in peace and in strife." The other nods, eyes closed, a faint smile touching lips as the words drift upward toward the infinite expanse of stars. Each vow joins the hum of night, blending with wind, earth, and light, creating a lullaby of sacred fidelity. You float higher now, seeing the full stretch of the battlefield bathed in silver glow. Shadows play gently across the hills, valleys, and scattered stones. Every curve of the land seems tender, as if remembering each step taken here with care and courage. The earth holds these echoes like water holds reflections, still and clear, a mirror for the soul that drifts above. The stars shine without judgment, simply observing, simply honoring, simply reminding every heart of the enduring power of promises kept. A distant river glimmers under moonlight, winding softly through the fields. Its surface reflects the stars like scattered jewels, a gentle reminder that even in chaos, life and calm persist together. You sense the quiet movement of water as a reflection of the flow of courage, flowing steadily, patient and serene, carrying with it the essence of every vow made upon this earth. Even when the battles of life are over, even when the world has shifted, these threads of devotion remain steady and luminous, like the river's slow, unwavering path. Another chime, soft and low, seems to rise from the distant hills, a subtle echo of bells once rung in temples far away, marking oaths taken, courage affirmed, and hearts aligned. The sound floats across the battlefield, mingling with the gentle whisper of wind and the soft murmur of the river. It is a sound of calm, of quiet resolution, a lullaby for all who have carried the weight of promises with dignity. You feel the resonance settling into your chest, your breath aligning with the gentle rhythm, a soft pulse of serenity filling the mind and spirit. A young warrior kneels near the river's edge, fingers brushing the water as he whispers a final vow. "May my courage be tempered with wisdom. May my heart remain open, even amidst the trials of life. May my spirit honor every sacred promise." The water catches his words, carrying them lightly downstream, reflecting the stars above, and spreading the quiet devotion across the fields. You float among these currents of light and breath, feeling the soft strength of every heart that has pledged, endured, and remembered. The night deepens and the stars grow more luminous, a vast canopy of serene light stretching to infinity. Each heart on the battlefield, every whispered vow, every silent act of courage is reflected in that sky, held gently by time itself. You sense the presence of all who have walked here before, their quiet devotion weaving a tapestry of calm and honor. Even the smallest flicker of movement, the sway of a branch, the ripple of water, the flight of a bird, is part of this meditation, a gentle reminder that courage and fidelity can be quiet, patient, and luminous. Let us drift onward, floating above the fields and rivers, carried by the soft glow of stars, the gentle pulse of wind, and the quiet resonance of sacred oaths. Now rest, as the night holds the battlefield in tender stillness, as the stars watch silently, and as your spirit floats calmly into deep, gentle sleep. Twilight settles softly over the temple courtyards, draping the world in quiet shades of gold and violet. The air is warm and still, carrying the faint scent of incense and distant blossoms. You float gently above the stones, feeling the hush of evening wrap around your spirit as lanterns begin to glow one by one. Their flames flicker gently, tiny stars scattered across the courtyards, each light a tender witness to vows spoken and kept. The lanterns sway with the soft breath of air, their gentle glow reflecting in the polished tiles of the temple walkways. You notice the rhythm of each flicker, as if each flame pulses in time with hearts devoted to promises. They are not loud or demanding. They do not call attention to themselves, but they shine steadily, carrying quiet assurance, a reminder that devotion endures, even in silence. The courtyards are calm, a sanctuary where the spirit can rest in the presence of unwavering light. In one corner, a monk kneels beside a cluster of lanterns, hands folded over his heart. His eyes close slowly, and a soft whisper rises into the air. May these pledges guide all who have walked before me and all who will come after. May our hearts remain true and our spirits steadfast in the path of honor. The flame nearest to him trembles lightly, as if nodding in gentle agreement, and you feel the warmth of that vow extending outward, touching the edges of the courtyard, brushing the stone walls, and stretching beyond into the night sky. You drift past rows of lanterns, noticing how each light seems to carry its own story. One is small and delicate, its glass etched with tiny symbols of courage. Another glows warmly, larger, steady, with a soft hum of devotion that resonates quietly in the air. Each flame embodies a pledge, a promise held across time, and together they form a constellation of quiet dedication. The temple is alive with these soft lights, each one a thread weaving past and present, the sacred and the ordinary, into a calm, endless tapestry. A gentle breeze moves through the courtyards, brushing the lanterns so that their light dances upon the walls and floor. Shadows stretch and fold, merging with the glow, creating patterns that seem to tell stories of their own. You notice figures etched in shadow, warriors bowing, priests kneeling, families gathering to honor the vows of their ancestors. Each movement is slow, measured, as if the world itself is breathing in quiet reverence. Here, devotion is not loud or urgent. It is enduring, steady, and luminous. In a quiet alcove, a pair of lanterns hang side by side. Their flames flicker in delicate harmony, like hearts aligned through years of loyalty. A young acolyte sits nearby, eyes half closed, whispering his pledge softly to the night. May my actions honor the promises of those who came before me. May my spirit carry their light forward, steady and gentle. The lanterns respond with their warm sway, casting reflections that shimmer across his face, bathing him in calm assurance. You feel the resonance of this small moment ripple outward, touching every stone, every step, every corner of the courtyard. The temple bells chime in the distance, soft and deep, their echoes mingling with the gentle light of the lanterns. Each sound seems to affirm the vows, like invisible hands holding promises close. You drift among the courtyards, noticing how the lanterns seem to lean slightly toward one another, as if acknowledging the silent network of oaths and pledges that connect all who have come before. Light and sound blend together into a slow, serene rhythm, inviting your heart to match its pace. Beyond the main hall, a reflecting pool mirrors the lanterns, doubling their gentle glow. You watch as the water ripples softly, the reflections shimmering and stretching, bending the light into new shapes, yet keeping the essence of each flame intact. The pool seems alive, as if it too remembers the sacred pledges carried within each lantern. You sense how devotion flows like water, quiet, patient, unending, linking moments of promise across time, from the earliest hearts that lit these lanterns to the present, and onward into the future. A soft footstep approaches, and an elder monk places another lantern upon the stone path. Its flame flickers once, then steadies, joining the gentle chorus of light already glowing across the courtyard. Each new lantern adds to the rhythm, each new pledge extending the network of care, honor, and devotion. You notice how the smallest gestures, like setting a flame, carry immense meaning here, and you feel that same quiet significance settle into your own spirit, a gentle warmth that steadies and soothes. The wind carries faint whispers of oaths spoken long ago. Perhaps it is the memory of warriors or scholars or families who have kept their word with care and reverence. You hear them softly, rising and falling with the movement of air, and each whisper is a lullaby, a gentle reminder that even when the world changes, even when chaos arises, the light of promises endures. Each vow becomes part of the night itself, stitched into the fabric of sky, stone, and air. The lanterns seem to communicate with one another across the courtyard, their tiny flames swaying in unison. You feel their harmony as a subtle pulse through the ground, up into your own chest, aligning your breath with their rhythm. Each pulse is a slow reminder. Loyalty is quiet, honor is steady, and devotion is luminous, even in the darkest corners. The temple holds this truth tenderly, like a cradle for the spirit, allowing it to rest securely in the gentle glow of sacred light. A small child approaches a lantern with careful steps, placing a hand over the flame as if offering a quiet prayer. The flame wavers slightly, then steadies, reflecting the innocence, purity, and sincerity of the pledge. You notice how even the smallest light, the tiniest promise, carries the weight of eternity. The courtyard is full of such moments, soft, deliberate, enduring. Each contributes to the gentle melody of devotion that fills the space, inviting every spirit present to float quietly along its current. As the night deepens, stars peek through the darkening sky, sparkling above the lanterns in gentle recognition. The heavens seem to join the courtyard in quiet celebration of fidelity, honor, and courage. Each flame on the ground echoes the stars above, and each star mirrors the pledge of those below. You feel the interconnectedness of it all, the vast network of light and devotion stretching through time, and a calm certainty settles over you. Promises made and kept are never lost. They are part of the eternal rhythm, part of the steady song that carries all hearts forward. Let us drift onward, floating among the lanterns, carried by their warm glow, their quiet resonance, and the gentle music of wind and stars. Now rest, as the lights shine softly across the temple courtyards, as the pledges of the faithful ripple through space and time, and as your spirit floats gently into the deep calm of sleep. The night is deep and soft, the sky spread wide above quiet hills and winding paths. Stars shimmer like faint echoes of distant lanterns, casting gentle light upon fields that once held the steady march of warriors. You float slowly above the land, carried by a breeze that hums softly through the grass and bends the branches of old trees. Each sound, each movement, feels like a slow, deliberate breath, as if the world itself remembers and sighs in quiet reverence. Here in this stillness, the names of heroes have faded, but their presence lingers like a soft pulse beneath the earth. You sense their courage in the gentle rise and fall of hills, in the quiet curve of a river reflecting moonlight. Every step they once took, every vow they once made, has settled into the rhythm of the land. You drift above the fields, feeling the faint, enduring song of their devotion, carried quietly through time. Lanterns flicker in the distance, small points of light along temple walkways, marking the enduring flame of promises made long ago. You notice how even the smallest acts of fidelity leave traces, subtle but unbroken. A warrior kneels at the edge of a stream, hands pressed softly to the earth, murmuring an oath so gentle that only the wind and stars seem to hear. May my courage be enough. May my heart remain true. His voice rises lightly, blending with the hush of night, joining the invisible chorus of all who have pledged quietly and faithfully. You drift closer to the temple courtyard, where quiet lanterns reflect in still pools of water. The reflections shimmer like soft memories, stretching across the surface in gentle waves. Each light is a note in the song of those whose names have vanished, a soft reminder that devotion echoes far beyond recognition. The night holds them tenderly, preserving the rhythm of loyalty, the quiet pulse of honor that endures in silence. A pair of figures kneel beside a small fire, their faces illuminated by its glow. You sense the calm energy of their hearts, each beat aligned with their quiet vows. May our strength serve not only ourselves but all who come after, one whispers. The words drift upward, mingling with the smoke, merging with the stars. You feel the ripple of that intention across the courtyard, a subtle wave that touches every stone, every tree, every hidden corner where memories linger. The soft wind stirs again, carrying the faint scent of earth, fire, and distant flowers. Shadows stretch slowly along the walls, intertwining with the glow of lanterns. You see shapes of warriors long past, kneeling, bowing, and standing in silent homage to their promises. Their movements are calm, deliberate, graceful, a meditation in loyalty. Every heartbeat, every breath, every careful gesture contributes to the quiet melody of their dedication. Even unseen, they leave a trace that time cannot erase. Along the outer path of the temple, a solitary lantern swings gently in the wind. Its flame bends but does not break, flickering like a heartbeat of devotion. You notice how it mirrors the steadfastness of those who walk unseen paths of honor. The light is modest, almost shy, yet steady. It whispers that true courage does not always seek recognition. It glows quietly, faithfully, preserving the song of those whose names may never be spoken but whose oaths continue to resonate. A distant river reflects moonlight in slow ripples. You drift above it, sensing the quiet cadence of footsteps long gone. Warriors walk these banks with care, meditating on the vows they had taken, the promises they carried. The water moves gently, mirroring the constancy of their devotion. Even as time washes over the land, their quiet song flows on, subtle yet unbroken, touching every stone, leaf, and whispering wind along its path. The courtyard hums softly with the resonance of unseen voices. The monks and keepers of the temple light small lanterns, each one a gentle acknowledgement of the pledges that have passed through generations. The flame bends to the rhythm of the night, bending as if to honor the invisible hands that shaped its fire. Each movement, each flicker, carries the weight of countless unseen hearts, a soft, enduring hymn of loyalty and courage. You notice a young apprentice, sitting quietly near the edge of the temple's outer wall, eyes half closed. He hums a faint melody, a song that seems to rise from the very stones beneath him. The melody is tender, slow, weaving together the lives and oaths of the unsung heroes. Each note is a promise, each pause a meditation, a recognition that even in silence the spirit of devotion continues, eternal and gentle. Above, the stars trace arcs of silver light across the sky. They shimmer with the quiet knowledge of every vow taken beneath their gaze. You sense that the constellations themselves hold memory, of warriors, of vows, of quiet acts of courage that shape the world in ways unseen. Their light falls softly across the courtyard and river, across the hills and stones, embracing every unsung heart in the soft rhythm of remembrance. A gentle breeze carries a faint echo of a drum, low and distant, marking the rhythm of steady hearts. Each beat is slow, measured, unhurried. You float in alignment with its pace, feeling the harmony of devotion and patience. Every warrior who once walked here adds to this rhythm, their silent song blending with the wind, with the water, with the soft flicker of lantern light. Even the smallest act of loyalty contributes to the enduring melody that flows endlessly through night and time. The lanterns sway softly once more, reflecting in pools and along temple tiles. You sense the continuity of their light, each one a gentle heartbeat of faithfulness, a whisper of courage, a promise held steady. The song of the unsung heroes is not loud or triumphant. It is a soft, sustaining presence, a quiet hum that soothes and steadies. It assures every spirit that every pledge, however quiet, touches eternity. The moon rises higher, silver and tender, illuminating the courtyards, rivers, and paths. Its light mingles with the stars and lanterns, weaving a gentle tapestry of calm, devotion, and enduring honor. You drift above it all, carried by the pulse of whispered oaths and unseen courage, the gentle song of hearts that have held true through time. The night itself becomes a sanctuary, a cradle for these quiet, luminous spirits, and for your own gentle drifting. Let us drift onward, floating among the lanterns, across the rivers, beneath the stars, and through the quiet song of devotion. Now rest, as the heroes' whispers settle into the earth, as their light continues to shine softly across generations, and as your spirit floats gently into the calm embrace of sleep. Night has softened into the quiet hush of dawn, and the first light spreads gently across distant hills, turning the world into a muted canvas of gold and silver. You drift slowly above ancient rivers that twist like ribbons through the landscape, carrying reflections of stars that linger from the night. The air is soft, almost fragrant with dew and earth, and a gentle breeze lifts the scent of distant blossoms. Each breath feels full, slow, and nurturing, as though the world itself is exhaling in peace. Beneath you, the rivers flow steadily, and you sense that they carry more than water. They carry memories. Every drop holds the weight and warmth of sacred vows made by countless hearts across time. Warriors, monks, and pilgrims have knelt by these banks, letting their promises settle into the earth and water. You watch as the river mirrors their devotion, its surface shimmering with silent fidelity, each ripple a soft echo of courage and faith. Lanterns flicker on the far riverbank, tiny flames swaying like whispers. Each one represents a vow, a commitment made in hope, in love, and steadfastness. The flames bend but do not break, as if the night itself cradles them. You drift closer, feeling the quiet pulse of each promise. Some are old, barely remembered by human memory, yet they continue to illuminate the path for those who follow. Even unseen, they cast gentle light, guiding hearts with soft certainty. Along the riverbank, figures kneel in meditation. Their faces are calm, serene, reflecting the river's silver glow. They murmur oaths softly, letting words flow into the night, into the breeze, into the river itself. May my heart remain true. May my courage serve the good of all. May my vows echo beyond my own life. Each syllable is a drop in the eternal stream, joining the countless others that have traveled this path. You feel the rhythm of devotion, a slow, gentle pulse that flows from one generation to the next. The river curves through forests where the trees bend gracefully over its surface. Their leaves whisper quietly, moving with the same rhythm as the flowing water. Birds perch on branches, their feathers catching the soft morning light, and their calls rise like small prayers. They carry the essence of these vows through the air, lifting them toward the sky, where stars, fatting with the dawn, hold them gently in memory. Every living thing seems to honor the continuity of promises, acknowledging their quiet strength. As you drift onward, the river widens, reflecting the sky's pale light. Small boats float along the water, their sails catching faint winds. You notice that these are not ordinary vessels. They are symbols of journey and devotion, carrying oaths across distances, across generations. The travelers on board move with calm precision, each step deliberate and mindful. Their faces are peaceful, their hands gentle upon the wood, and you sense the harmony between their intentions and the river that guides them. Every stroke of the oar is a meditation, a reaffirmation of the sacred trust they hold. Soft bell tones begin to echo from a temple on the distant hill, carried gently by the breeze. Each chime vibrates through the air like a heartbeat, marking moments of reflection and quiet resolve. The bells speak without words, reminding all who hear that devotion persists beyond time and circumstance. You feel their resonance ripple through your own body, a subtle vibration that soothes and steadies. The river, the lanterns, the gentle wind, they all respond in harmony, joining in the silent celebration of faithfulness. In the courtyard of the temple, lanterns sway gently, their light reflecting in shallow pools. Pilgrims move quietly among them, placing new lights beside the old. Each lantern is a note in the endless song of promises. Some glimmer faintly, centuries old, while others shine brightly with the freshness of new vows. Together, they create a tapestry of devotion, a luminous path through time that guides wandering souls toward peace and purpose. You feel that even the smallest act of fidelity, however unseen, contributes to this eternal harmony. Above, the sky opens wider, and the morning sun rises fully, spilling soft warmth across the river and courtyard. The light touches each lantern, each ripple, each leaf, and you notice that the sacred vows continue to shine in new ways. Their essence has settled into the world, leaving gentle traces in stone, water, and hearts. You sense that the continuity of these promises is unbroken. The courage, the honor, the devotion flows endlessly, like the river beneath you, moving quietly, steadily, eternally. The wind carries whispers of countless voices, unsung heroes, devoted monks, and travelers who once pledged their hearts. Their words are no longer audible in the usual sense, yet you feel them resonate within your spirit. Faith remains, courage endures, love guides us still. Every soft echo reinforces the gentle truth that sacred vows are not bound by time. They ripple forward, touching lives you cannot see, bringing calm, stability, and light. You float alongside this river of devotion, letting the rhythm of their constancy settle your mind. You notice a lone figure kneeling at the river's edge, a small flame held tenderly in both hands. The light is warm and steady, and you feel the depth of concentration, the solemn care in the act of keeping a promise. He whispers his vow softly, the words blending with the gentle lap of water against the shore, the rustle of leaves, and the distant chiming of bells. The river carries the whisper onward, adding it to the eternal flow. You sense that each act of faithful intention, no matter how small, strengthens the river of sacred vows, giving it ever more light and grace. Further downstream, the river narrows again, winding through quiet valleys where wildflowers bloom and butterflies drift lazily in the sun. Their delicate movement mirrors the gentle passage of time, reminding you that devotion is a living, breathing force, growing softly and naturally. Each petal, each wing, carries a faint essence of the promises that have passed through this landscape. You feel as if the river itself smiles, knowing that faithfulness nurtures life, and that every sacred vow leaves a trace of calm and beauty in the world. The bells chime once more, soft and slow, vibrating through the air like the heartbeat of the universe. You drift above them, letting their resonance fill every corner of your awareness. You feel the continuity of courage, the persistence of honor, the quiet illumination of devotion. Every promise, every oath, every tender pledge flows together, creating a gentle current that carries all who are willing to float with it into peace. The river widens once more as the sun rises higher, the sky a pale canvas of gold and lavender. Lanterns flicker on its banks, small reminders of steadfast hearts. You notice the calm devotion in the faces of those tending the lights, in the river that mirrors the sky, in the soft wind that bends through the trees. The eternal flow of sacred vows is visible in everything. The gentle rise of hills, the shimmer of water, the tender sway of branches. It is a presence both subtle and powerful, soothing the soul with its endless rhythm. Let us drift onward, following the river through morning light, over hills under soft clouds, and alongside all the lanterns and hearts that have held their promises faithfully. Let us float in harmony with the eternal flow, knowing that devotion, honor, and sacred vows accompany every soul quietly, steadily, and endlessly. Now rest as the river carries its gentle song, as the bells echo softly in your spirit, and as the sacred continuity of promises guides you into calm and peaceful sleep.